We left Auke Harbor north of Juneau at 4 o'clock in the morning, and we're headed back north on the Lynn Canal, but we're crossing it to go up an inlet over on, it's a dividing line of land between Glacier Bay and the Lynn Canal, and then we're going to go up an inlet over there, check that out, and then go up the west side of the Lynn Canal. Look at the seals basking over here. Back out through another channel. And just come through there. And that's the channel. Tide's pouring in now. We're going to go through a pretty strong current. We got about 60-mile-an-hour speed. We got good control. Well, I can see it though. Just like we're coming into a strong river. That's just what it is. A strong river coming in here. Look at that. Pretty narrow river too.
Yeah.
That thing isn't what? 130 yards wide. This is the Haines, Alaska small boat harbor. We just come in from down that channel from Juneau. And there's Donkey Dory, looking pretty fine. Did good out on the rough water. And the rain caught up with us. We left Haines and heading up toward Skagway, and the wind's blowing. A little bit, not real bad. Waves are coming up a little bit. We're on Atlin Lake now, crossing. We just left the town. We spent last night in the little town of Atlin on the dock. We rented a place there to put the boat for a dock spot that we can come and go and store our stuff for $20 for the whole week. $20 Canadian, which is about $15 American for the week. Couldn't get a better deal. Watch that window, Julie, and I'll look up week. The wind has been pretty strong here, and the lake is about like Atlin. I don't think we were on the ocean anywhere that is as rough as it is right now on this lake. This is the town that we just left behind us here. Don't look down, Jolie. That's what's going to make you sick. We're headed straight up. There's a channel. That's Treese Island there. And there's a channel that goes up alongside Treese Island. It's straight ahead, right over in there. And that's about 3 miles over. I like riding a horse.
because we didn't see it.
Yeah, we never.
Down low.
Yeah. How we missed it though. The wind's blowing. Blowing that. This is where we spent the night. It's up at the head on Appleton Lake on Williston Glacier Inlet. The glacier's too far up to be able to see. About 9:30, we're trying to make up our minds whether we're going to spend the night here or look for another place. It's kind of a pretty spot, beautiful spot. The water, even without the sun shining on it, the water has a really unique color here. Yeah, it looks like I'm going to have a cup of coffee. This is where we spent the night last night. We're getting up closer to the end of the lake. And rained all night last night, but it looks like it's going to come out beautiful today. I went for a walk. And I got the boat down in here. It's only sitting in about a 1.5 foot of water. The motors are touching down there right now, but I can draw them up enough and that I can push them out with waders on, push the boat out. This out of the lake, it come down this glacier river, and we're about out of ice in our ice box, so it's the perfect chunk of ice, and it's pretty too. Put it out in the sunshine, Joey. That's glacier ice.
Might lose it.
Yeah, that looks neat. Huh. These are things you wouldn't want to do with a deep V boat. This is real sharp, bad rocks underneath this. But I can just gently pull it in and just let it float up above. And it just works perfect. This goes in and there's a beautiful little inlet with the rock barrier going across there. And there's just a few inches of water. Kind of an inner lake off of the outer lake. We're about a mile from Carmack, headed up the Yukon. Pulled out of Appleton last night and decided to go up the river. That's the road right there that goes from Carmack to where we went last year, Ross River. The first few miles of it's paved, and the rest of it's all unpaved. It's 10 after 11. We just pulled in here. Was getting a little concerned because we couldn't find a place to pull in. The river running pretty fast and we didn't want to be out on the river. A lot of mosquitoes, so Julie's covered up pretty good. I am too. We were kind of concerned on what rough place because the river was flowing really fast right alongside. And this is the first place we've come to that found one place down the river a little ways that had a mud bank that I thought I could snug it in against if I had to. And then we went up here to check. I seen on the map that there might be one more spot up. And so we didn't have to go back. So this is home tonight. We don't know how far we're going to go up. If I got to figure out when I get about halfway up here. I started out with 70 gallons of gas from Car Crush. I'm up 50 miles up the river, and it's a little over 200 and some to Whitehorse. So we got to figure out after we go up another 50 miles, it's the point of no return. In order to be able to make it back, of whether we want to continue on to Whitehorse and get fuel there and then come back, or whether we want to turn around and come down river. So we'll go up a ways and find out tomorrow. Yukon River. I tied up to this old steamship. This is the bow we're looking at right here. And it's, you can see, is in the middle, total middle of the river. There's some German tourists that are going from Whitehorse to Dawson, which is around 500 miles. They rented these canoes. Pretty neat the way it can come in here, and the way we've been able to come in anywhere we want to take this boat and just come in. I bought a shovel because a guy told me that we couldn't go down the river or up the river because you just get hung up on sandbars. So he said make sure you have a shovel if you want to test it. So we bought a shovel in case we had to dig ourselves out, but we went the river anyway. That's the wreck that we were just on. It's as white as a screen, and you can see the people on it. That's this is how we bring it in. I just come under power, and then that, with the motor just turned slightly, it brings the nose. There's a real fast current out here. And then I bring the nose, and that forces the nose into the sand like this. Jolie's up snugging us in. And I just leave the motor running. Then we can step in, and that forces the bow into the gravel, even though the current is really strong on the outside like that. Then after she gets it snugged tight here, then I can cut the motor, and then the rope will hold it. So we come in here because just around the corner here, this is called Shipyard Island, and they dry docked one of those big steamer paddle wheels up here a long time ago when they were going to fix it. And I guess for whatever reason, money I imagine, they never put it back into service. See what put in there? They put them up here by horse. What that sign said is they used a capstan, and they greased these skids right here, and then the horses did the capstans, pulling around in circles, and it pulled the ship right up the hill and put it into dry dock. And there she sits. SS Evelyn. She only worked a year going from the Bering Sea. 360 ton, and went from the Bering Sea to Whitehorse, where we're going. See the size of this rope? Big around as my arm. Okay, that's enough. This is the old town of whatever that sign says it is. I can't read it. Site. And this is where the Teslin River, which we went down about 40 miles last year out of Teslin Lake on the little rubber boat, this is where it meets the Yukon. So we got the Teslin River and the Yukon River together here. That's the Teslin coming in over here and going up there. And this is the Yukon that we're switching to the right. And we were just stopped over back in that island over in there, right in the center of that, was where that little town was. That town lasted darn near 100 years. So it was the first town there in 1894 for the miners before the Klondike Gold Rush, and then it switched to the when the Teslin was the gold rush, and then it switched to the Klondike Gold Rush, and then it switched to paddle wheelers coming up here. But they used to dredge this river for the paddle wheelers. So now it's gone back to the old, and right now a paddle wheeler, there's no way it could make it up here. We've gone boiling over here in front. Filming?
Yep.
Huh?
Yep.
Coming up Lake LaBarge. The Yukon River runs in and out of it. It's a 30-mile long lake. So we've come up 100 and some miles up Yukon, then we got to go 30 miles up this, and then another 30 miles up the Yukon further, and we'll be at Whitehorse. We're about halfway down the lake now. We just left Lake LaBarge out that way, and we came through some real shallow water, a couple feet. Now we're working our way. We don't even know what this is. This is the entrance of the Yukon River into Lake LaBarge. Somebody's got a float plane out here. I don't know what this great big old thing, if it was, what it was at one time. We're in 17 feet of water all of a sudden now. About 15 miles from Whitehorse, and the Yukon is really narrowed up now. Well, 17 miles from Whitehorse. And coming up shortly is where the Tahini River, which is the last major river entering the Yukon before we get to Whitehorse. We've got to go up there, and we're going to fuel. We got to pick up about 40 gallons of fuel in town, pack them down from the middle of Whitehorse down to the boat in 5-gallon containers. And it's going to be 9 o'clock when we get there, and hopefully before 10 we can get out of here there, and then we got to come down here and find a place to camp on the river tonight going the other way. We're coming into Whitehorse. The town headquarters is down that way. We're coming up to the Walmart store right here. Yeah, it's about 6 o'clock in the morning. We got in here last night about 10 o'clock. I walked over to that Shell service station and made several trips. I picked up about 30 gallons. It took us 55 gallons to get from Carcross to here, and I got 48 gallons to get back. So Whitehorse is right down that direction there, but it's about the center of town's a mile that way. We're on the very outskirts of it here. And we just come in here and tied up like this along this river. And had a very good night. Town, you can't see it really well. Downtown part of it. That's might be Whitehorse. In fact, we'll go around. Old riverboat that was filmed by it many years ago, or 3 or 4 years ago. This thing is just like the ones that we looked at up there, except they spent close to $20 million. They showed that 3 years ago to have it completely restored. And then it's going to be actually, if you put it in the river, to take off and go. They're doing it, engines, everything. I don't know why they're doing all that. And then they got a flat boat with the tin on it that they used to do here. But that's the real where we spent the night, right there. There's the shell station in the background. Hope the canoers are spaced out, or we might have people that diving overboard. Huh? This is where we've gone 30 miles down the lake now, and we're headed into the channel that is the Yukon River leading Lake Labarge, and 30 miles from here to where the Teslin River meets, and then 100 and some miles from there to Carmack. We'll be traveling. This is how I'm guiding ourselves in. I got the one GPS right here, I don't know if it'll come in, that shows that's us right there. And that's our tracks coming up. So I'm just following our tracks coming in. It makes it a lot easier to guide. Then I got this one here that shows our, that's the number of miles that we've come so far since leaving Whitecross, that 55 miles. And then that right there shows us our water count. Right now we're in 10.5 feet of water. 11 feet now. 10.9.2. That's what it looks like as you're coming into a bar. That's a sandbar right there. I'm going to show. And we wheel off here to the side. You can see that's a reef there that would hang us up. Get the motor right off. And after a while, you get to read all of these as you come down. You know exactly where to go. When it's easier actually going downstream than upstream. Circle around these. You can just search for the water channel. After a while, you can read it, but the depth finder really helps too. Hard across all the way through here, and it stretches all the way across the river, all the way up to those rapids up there. Light coming in. Circle over and come up and down this edge over here. There's the sandbar right out there, see it? I see it as the race, but we're going to come right around the edge of it. And then we're going to cut across all the way to those cliffs into the deeper water. See that? It's hard to read up ahead of us. So what does the chart say? Center it?
Yeah, there's the other one.
Oh, kind of off to the right. There it is right there. Yeah, we're fine. We just got to kind of come down and split the difference on this one here, right? That would be the reef right there, the yellow. We got to cut halfway in between it. Yeah, that's it right there. Okay. We just got to cut right through here. bluffs. On these bluffs, we have to stay out away from them on the down end of them. We got to keep slightly off, right? Yeah, we make that bend. This is coming up on Juneau Station at the junction again of the Teslin. We're back down to where the Teslin and Yukon come together. Big old set of moose horns there that Jolie won't let me swipe. I'd sure like to take them home. At one time there was 7,000 boats going to the gold rush that come by here. Plus there'd be up 5, 6 big steamboats, paddle wheelers tied up in here at one time. That's all that's left of it.